to you all again. In this video, we are going to talk about how do we enter into new fields where we do not know anybody. How do we preach gospel to these new places? So to do that, I want you to take a moment to read Luke chapter 10, verses 1 through 11, and make a list of two things. On the one hand, you can write down here what Jesus asked his disciples to do. On the other hand, you can write what Jesus asked his disciples to not to do. Make this list and then come back. Hey, thanks for coming back. Now that you had a moment to read Luke chapter 10, verses 1 through 11, hope you made this list. So let's go through this list. On the one hand we see what Jesus asked his disciples to do, and on the other hand we see what Jesus asked his disciples not to do. So we see first Jesus asked them to go two by two, and he asked them pray for more laborers, and also he asked them to go, and whenever they go, uh, greet the person that they meet, greet the house that they meet, give them uh, greetings of peace. And also he asked them to remain in the house if they ask you to stay there, and also eat and drink what they provide you, heal the sick, proclaim the gospel. If they reject you, if they don't accept your message, wipe the dust of your feet. And also Jesus asked them few things not to do. Jesus said, don't take any money bag, knapsack, or sandals. Do not greet on the road. Do not go from house to house. This is what Jesus asked them to do and not to do. Whenever we see in the New Testament, both in the Gospels and the book of Acts, we see disciples and the apostles were practicing these principles for their ministry. We see them going two by two or more than two. We see them praying. We see them going from cities to cities. We see them preaching the gospel. We see them healing the sick in some cases. We are not sure about things that are not to do. We don't know whether they have money bags with them extra. We don't know whether they have knapsacks or sandals extra. We don't know whether they greeted people on the road. We don't know that they're going from house to house. I think these things are depend on the different circumstances and the context that we are in. But the main point is the apostles and the disciples, they were using these principles for preaching the gospel in new places where there is no gospel. So let's talk about how we can use these principles practically in our life. So first thing you do is take a partner with you, or more partners, one or more partners with you, and pray with them that God would grant a people of peace, house of peace for you to meet, that they would willing to listen to the gospel of Jesus Christ. Once you form the team, one or more with you, what you do is you go with them. When you go with them and meet people, first thing you do is ask people, do they have any prayer requests? Do they have any needs? Do they have any sicknesses? So that you can pray for them. Ask them, can I pray for you? If they say, yes, you can pray, then you pray for them, not more than 30 seconds. Just pray a small prayer. But if they say no, that's okay, you can move on. But if they ask you to pray, after you pray for them, ask them, can I share my story, how God changed my life? If they say yes, share your story. And if they say no, that's okay, no problem. Once you shared your story, then you can ask them, can I share gospel with you? Meaning, can I share a story about my God who changed my life? And you can share about Jesus Christ. At any of this point, they say no, then you can say thank you and you can move on. Repeat this process with somebody in the field. But if anybody follows this process and ask them to believe in Jesus, and if they believe in Jesus, You remain in their house, give them discipleship training, and ask them to share their faith with other friends and families that are near to them. So take this time to pray that where God wants you to go. Also pray who does God wants you to take with you. After you praying, write down what God tells you and make a plan about where, when, with whom you're going to go and do this process. Thank you.